Hey guys, so first video back off the ban. I was off the ban 2 days ago, and of course my plan was to upload immediately, but to be honest with you, I've got personal things going on, and I've been watching this whole situation in Kabul, well, in Afghanistan in general, over the past few days, and it's just been something that I felt like let's just say I felt like just observing it, not so much talking about it. I don't think I've ever come outright and said it on the channel, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty obvious by now. I'm a veteran, and part of my waking up was my experience as a veteran. Spent a few years in Iraq. Wasn't in Afghanistan, but for some reason, the events in Afghanistan are affecting me more than when I watched ISIS do the same thing in Iraq. Maybe I'm further down the line, or maybe we are, I don't know. But it's affecting me more. Mostly because I'm hearing so many people upset about the blood and treasure we've lost in Afghanistan. And they're upset that we just gave it all away. And what I'm upset about is the reasons why we were there to begin with. This idea that our presence in foreign countries lowers the amount of terrorism that we experience is literally insane. It is our presence in other countries that causes terrorism against our country. When you talk about the extremely small percentage of domestic terrorism that a country experiences, that terrorism is because of what's happening inside that country. But literally all other forms of terrorism are caused by foreign nationals upset at our foreign policy. The last remaining bastion of people who are wrapped in a cloak of nationalism and defending these foreign wars is that we had to go there after 9/11 to fight terrorism on their land and not ours. How pretentious are we as a country to see that as the solution instead of listening to the people who were telling us to get out of their country? That's if you accept all of the events as they were presented to us. And everybody who's on this channel knows damn well that the events did not play out as they were presented to us. So we're all mad, we're losing blood, and we're ceding blood and treasure to the Taliban in Afghanistan. You should have been mad that we were pouring blood and treasure into Afghanistan. You shouldn't be mad that all of the lives lost now, they're being dishonored because we're just giving the country back to the people who live there. Listen to that line of thinking. Watching all this play out and watching the media narrative over it has been so disheartening as a veteran that it's like I didn't even want to get on a mic, to be honest. But I realize it has now become a job of mine. I don't know where this job, talking on a microphone, fits into my life, but I know that it fits in there somehow. And if there's any topic that I'm going to talk on, it's this one. If I can't reach anybody about the things that this man has said and the lies that he's perpetrated on the American populace, if I can't reach you telling you that every puppet that gets up on your screen is exactly like this man, if I can't reach you that way, then just let me see if I can reach you this way. You've seen the utter collapse that has been the policy in Afghanistan. I want you to just listen to the utter inversion of reality that this man presents and realize that this isn't the only instance that he's done this. This is a very obvious instance where you can listen to what he's saying and then look at the news and be like, wow, that's not really what happened at all. You can even see through the news's attempt to line up with whatever Joe Biden says is the perception and the reality. But even with their attempt to line up with what he says, it fails. You can see here it's an obvious lie. Just know that he does this about all kinds of things. His relationship with China, his relationship with his son, his relationship with the crime bill, his relationship in politics for the past 50 years. If he's lying to you about this and it's so blatantly obvious, shouldn't you go back and listen to all the other times that he's talked just like this?
Is a Taliban takeover of Afghanistan now inevitable?
No, it is not.
because you have the Afghan troops have 300,000 well-equipped as any army in the world, and an air force against something like 75,000 Taliban. It is not inevitable.
Now just substitute all those facts and figures and just put the CV in there. And all the things that he tells you about the jab, and all the things that he tells you about masks, and all the things that he tells you about lockdowns, and all the things that he tells you about what's best for our nation.
Mr. President, thank you very much. Your own intelligence community has assessed that the Afghan government will likely collapse.
That is not true.
Can you please clarify what they have told you about whether that will happen or not?
That is not true. They did not reach that conclusion.
So what is the level of confidence that they have that it will not collapse?
The Afghan government and leadership has to come together. They clearly have the capacity to sustain the government in place.
And do you see any parallels between this withdrawal and what happened in Vietnam with some people feeling?
None whatsoever. Zero. What you had entire brigades breaking through the gates of our embassy. Six, if I'm not mistaken. The Taliban is not the North Vietnamese army. They're not remotely comparable in terms of capability. There's going to be no circumstance where you see people being lifted off the roof of an embassy of the United States from Afghanistan. It is not at all comparable. So the question now is, where do they go from here? That the jury is still out. But the likelihood there's going to be the Taliban overrunning everything and owning the whole country is highly unlikely.
I'm hoping I can reach a few people out there who are still reachable about this individual. But seeing how things have played out militarily in Afghanistan in the days following the implementation of this plan, if he can be this wrong on this, how wrong can he be on other things? Because understand, this is, people use all the same defense mechanisms when they're talking about the president, whether it's Trump or Biden. He's the most well-informed man on this topic. He has experts surrounding him, telling him the reality about what's happening on the ground. You say all these things, and he gets up there and he says these things about Afghanistan while the country is literally falling apart in front of your eyes. But this is the most well-informed man in the country. He's got experts surrounding him. So when he's talking about CRT, when he's talking about the CV, when he's talking about Agenda 2030, when he's talking about China, when he's talking about Mexico, when he's talking about the border, when he's talking about Florida and Texas and mandates and everything, he's always surrounded by the most well-knowledged experts in the field, just like he is with this topic. And yet he's dead wrong here. What else is he dead wrong with? And when is he just wrong and when is he lying? That's up to each individual to determine. I can't make that determination for people. But I will say I don't understand how anybody can watch or listen to what's going on around them anymore and accept it at face value. It's beyond me. Alright guys, like, share, subscribe to the channel. Got more content coming in the days that follow. We'll be in a little bit of a pattern where I will have several content drops and then several days where I don't, probably. In the process, figuring out how exactly this is going to work as I'm being pulled back into my real job on a full-time basis. Outside of my usual once every 2 months ban, we're all going to have to kind of adjust fire with how much content I produce in the context of I have to work. I wish this was my job, but at the end of the day, it's not. So, love you guys. We'll be making as much content as possible. but try to be a little understanding with me as I'm attempting to slide into a new pattern in my life where I'm trying to create the right mix of content that I create for you guys for tips and what I have to do to put food on the table and pay rent for my family. All right, guys. I love y'all. I'll talk to you next time. Peace.